Namaste. We shall now see the ways of overcoming mother or pride. Appreciate the factors contributing to your success. One must remember that in the accomplishment of any of the goals, several factors are involved, and all of the factors must operate effectively for that specific outcome. These factors, such as the very capacity to achieve something great which comes from Ishvara, the laws and the materials involved in the operation, the contributions of individuals, some seen and many unseen in the accomplishment, and many other factors which are known and unknown. Our personal efforts are only one of the factors in determining what we get. Understanding the workings of karma in this way helps us overcome the belief that we are entitled automatically to rewards for all of our efforts. There can be infinite possibilities for the things to go wrong or differently in spite of one's plans and efforts. Accept criticism with an open mind. Always stay in close proximity to your critics and pay attention to what they are saying. According to Hindu saints, a critic is one of the best friends that anyone can have, because his comments and criticisms help us improve ourselves and realize that we are not as perfect or great as we imagine ourselves to be. Vinaya, or practicing the virtue of humility and respect for others. The fact of life is that what are our accomplishments in our own eyes may not mean much to others. Kabir Das ji, a great saint, mocks at people who get puffed up with pride because they think they are great, but whose power and strength is of no use to others. He says, "So what if you are great? You are like that date palm tree that gives no shade to the traveler and whose fruit is so high up that it is difficult to get." Empathy. Put yourself in the place of others and try to understand them and their situation. When you do this, you will understand that what you think to be their flaws or their mistakes are not really mistakes. Taking everything as the grace of Ishvara. Hinduism teaches that we should attribute every success and accomplishment or even failure as the will and gift of Ishvara. This keeps us free from pride and also from mental pain. When we are rising in our life, we should not feel that it is all due to my intelligence and efforts. Instead, think that I am blessed that Ishvara has showered his grace on me and had brought me up here. Likewise, whenever there is a calamity in your life, do not feel low or depressed, but say to yourself, I accept it as the will of Ishvara. He is always just and surely must have a plan for me. I will take this misfortune too as his gift and will start working harder in the hope that he has better things in store for me. We'll now see the story of a great saint, Madhusudana Saraswati, and how ego separated Madhusudana Saraswati from seeing Ishvara. Madhusudana Saraswati was a very renowned scholar of Hinduism. He lived in Bengal and Varanasi and wrote famous works like the commentary on the Bhagavad Gita. A beautiful story is narrated on how he forsake his ego and merged it with Krishna, melting his pride in the love for Krishna. One day, he was busy writing his classic on Advaita Vedanta called the Advaita Siddhi. Suddenly, a monk entered his study room and sat on a very high pedestal in front of him. Madhusudana Saraswati was taken aback, but immediately upon sitting, the sadhu asked Madhusudana Saraswati, "Tell me truthfully, during a philosophical debate with another scholar, do you feel agitated in your mind when you are not able to refute or respond to your opponent's arguments?" "Yes," said Madhusudana Saraswati. The sadhu then asked, "And when you defeat an opponent, do you feel euphoric?" "Yes, yes," replied Madhusudana Saraswati again. The sadhu smiled and said, "You have not shed your ego to the extent that you should have. I recommend that you worship Krishna. In the course of time, you will lose your ego, merge in Krishna, and experience a joy that you cannot even get if you defeat the greatest scholar on this earth in a debate. You are a great scholar of Advaita Vedanta, but you will get the fruit of your wisdom if you have devotion for Krishna." Then the sadhu instructed Madhusudana Saraswati in the mantra of Krishna and left. Madhusudana Saraswati chanted the mantra for 6 months with the correct procedure, but he saw no result. He repeated his religious vow for another 6 months, but Krishna did not appear to him even in his dreams. Despairing, Madhusudana Saraswati thought, "What a fool I was to have abandoned my profound study of Vedanta for the sake of this useless chanting and prayer." He left Varanasi and went to Kapiladhara, a sacred waterfall close to Amarkandak. One day, a cobbler came to him and said, "Swamiji, looks like you have no patience or persistence. You gave up your search for Krishna in a mere 12 months, whereas even the less knowledgeable people spend their entire lifetime in his search." Madhusudana Saraswati was taken aback. How could this cobbler know what I have been doing in the last 1 year? He asked the cobbler, "How did you find out that I gave up my search for Krishna in a mere 12 months?" The cobbler replied, I have pleased a ghost who tells me secret information about others. Madhusudana Saraswati replied, I have not been able to see Krishna. Perhaps you can teach me how to see your ghost. I am willing to humble myself and see that unclean ghost, because he may be able to take me to Krishna. The cobbler told him the correct procedure to propitiate the ghost. Madhusudana Saraswati now started worshipping the ghost. But when he did not appear, even after 3 days of non-stop prayer, he got angry. Now he, a scholar, walked himself to the hut of the humble cobbler and asked him why the ghost had not appeared. The cobbler replied, My mantra is effective and true indeed, but the ghost is scared to appear in front of you. He says that you have chanted the holy Gayatri mantra for so many years, and then the Vedas for such a long time, and finally the mantra of Krishna for an year. All this has made you very powerful. If the ghost appears in front of you, he will get incinerated immediately, and therefore he dare not come to you. But the ghost says that you need to have more persistence and patience. Chant the same mantra of Krishna with devotion and faith for 6 more months, and you will see a magnificent result. Madhusudana Saraswati was humbled, and he did as the ghost had said. After 6 months, when his ego had melted away and his heart had been filled with the love of Krishna, he had a divine vision. Moved by this vision, he wrote his masterpiece, Bhakti Rasayana, a famous treatise on bhakti. The path to greatness lies in overcoming the pride or mother. Namaste.